Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Disney with the Ducks. Tonight, we're on episode 46, and I'm your host for the night, John Krawl, and with me, I've got Lonnie G.
Hello, everybody.
Kevin.
Hi, y'all. How y'all doing?
Jody.
Hi, everybody.
And Mean Gene.
Nice to see you all.
All right, guys. So I got a question for everybody tonight before we get going into our topic. We're coming up to the Christmas holiday here. We're actually a week before Christmas. It's December 18th, which is an important day to me because it's my 7-year-old Carly's birthday. So it's been a fun weekend of celebrating that. But now that we're getting close to Christmas, though, one of the things that comes to mind is at this point, hopefully you've got your shopping done. But I wanted to see with you guys, what type of Christmas shopper are you? Are you one of the ones that buys stuff starting in, September, October and just squirreling it away for Christmas? Or do you wait until November 24th and figure out what stores open and base your shopping off of that? Or somewhere in between. So let's start with Gene. How do you handle the Christmas shopping?
So I'm just going to throw this out here. How would you guys guess that I handle the Christmas shopping? Just spitball.
Gift cards?
I'd rather buy presents, but I've been known to get a gift card. But I mean, as far as shopping, do you think I start shopping like in June, or start shopping, early, November,
I'm gonna go with tomorrow.
early December? How about
December 23rd?
Yeah, I was gonna say
not before Thanksgiving.
Usually not that late. This year's later than most. I've bought Christmas. I just had some stuff coming from Amazon that I like, the first stuff that I've got. And I've got, I've got some stuff, but I still have a little bit to finish. And I'll do it the early part of the week. I've been really busy though. But I typically, I perform best under pressure. I mean, I just really do. I really do. Every single paper I've ever written the night before. Or I finish it the night before. Every single work assignment, I try. I cannot get... Same thing with Christmas shopping. I cannot, it will not be focused until there's a deadline looming. That's just me. That's the way I live.
That's the way to go, though, sometimes. I mean, it makes it more fun. The adrenaline pumping and everything.
For sure.
It's more of an experience.
Yeah.
Jody, what about you? How do you handle the shopping?
I like to get things started in November. I don't do things earlier than that because then I forget if that's for someone. So I gotta get things together in November, but I'm super organized. I have an Excel spreadsheet of what I've bought for each person and color coordinated. And
wow, that's cool.
Here's why. So I'm responsible for the children's gifts, but I also help buy the gifts from my mother-in-law to the kids, et cetera, et cetera. So they're at the age now where it's just easier if I get something that I know that they're going to like, and then the grandparents get the credit for it. So, and also my son's birthday is in December, my father's birthday is in December, and my mother-in-law's birthday is in December. So then I try to figure out, is this a birthday gift or a Christmas gift? So it's kind of, I always feel like I'm doing a big Tetris puzzle, trying to make all the puzzle pieces fit together correctly. So yeah, John, I can't imagine how you do it with as many kids as you have.
Wait a minute. I'll try to explain it, but it involves a lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Yep. So I like to get probably November-ish is the earliest I go though.
Okay. All right, Kevin, what about you?
I start really early, earlier than probably most, kind of late summer, early fall kind of thing. But, I've got 2 boys. So a lot of times I'll buy a bunch of stuff that I like and then try to decide if I'm going to keep it or give it to them. So I like a lot of the same things that they do. So the big thing with me is trying to figure out, working Santa's mind, because Santa, I've got to figure out what Santa's going to bring because I don't want to bring the same thing. And that's kind of the big challenge of, is Santa working on something that I need to go find, or, do I need to pick something else? So trying to figure out what Santa's doing and figure something out for the kids and family and that kind of thing. But I'm pretty early shopper. The trick is, though, if you share an Amazon account, is to pick another online retailer other than Amazon to buy the thing that you would buy on Amazon that may be a little bit more expensive, but that's your only chance to hide it. So otherwise you'll see it coming in and just open a random box and find your present in there. So
Yeah, I read something about how to hide stuff, and so I ordered some stuff, and then I didn't get a chance to hide it, and it was seen. So yeah, thanks for that tip, Kevin.
Well, and
a
Kevin,
week before Christmas.
What I do too is I make sure when I ship it to me, I put John and then not Katie in parentheses as the name.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that way at least if she sees it, there's a chance she won't open it right away.
John,
Because yeah, I mean, yeah, we get
Good idea.
hundreds of Amazon boxes a day delivered to our house regularly, but at Christmas time it's insane. So.
It's insane.
Yeah, but the
Insane.
problem, Kevin, that I'm starting to notice now, so my oldest is older than your boys, but she's 13 now, so we let her like look for things on Amazon and stuff now, and I'm worried that she's gonna figure it out and go into like orders and she can see everything we bought for them.
Yeesh. Yeah, that's tough.
So yeah, so it starts getting tricky.
My teenager made a Google slideshow with links to items that she
Nice.
where it was actually lovely.
A presentation.
Yeah,
Some of them were Etsy and some were Amazon and some were it was. And guess what, Gene? They were 3/4 of them were Taylor Swift. So Taylor Swift necklace, Taylor Swift cardigan, Taylor Swift vinyl, Taylor Swift air fresheners.
Oh, man. All right, Lonnie, how are you doing your shopping this year or regularly?
Haven't even started. And I'm serious.
I'm just so
all right. So how are you going to accomplish this? What's your plan?
Dude, I'm just gonna wing it.
Are we going shopping in
taking my
person?
dopey approach.
Just wing it and throw it at the wall and hope it sticks.
A wing and a prayer.
All right, Lonnie, are you going out like shopping in person then at a local mall or something, I assume? Or are you just going to pay the exorbitant overnight shipping fees?
This is a guy who prints out his emails. What do you think he's going to do?
Yeah, John.
He's going to Sears and buying everything from there like my dad used to. All right, one-stop shopping.
Everybody gets a tool set.
Yep.
Craftsman all around.
Yeah, I haven't even started. Seriously, I just no. I don't know.
Okay. Well, Jody, okay, so you kind of asked earlier, like we have 5 kids, right? And how do you manage that? And the answer is, I mean, we have a spreadsheet that's got each person. We're trying to, Kevin, like you said, you got to communicate with Santa and figure out what he's bringing because we got to account for that in our spreadsheet so we know not to buy other stuff. And then we have like a column for how much it costs so that we can make sure each kid gets roughly the same. But then we also like to count the number of packages. So like we're doing pivot tables so I can count how many individual items kids have and, kind of organize all these things because there's like hundreds of lines because then there's you're buying for like nieces and nephews and aunts and uncles and all this other stuff too. And then but the other problem is as I'm wrapping it, I'd say 99.6% of our presents Katie buys and just has them delivered here, and then I go off of her spreadsheet and do wrapping and stuff. So as I'm wrapping it, I have to like mark every item, and I've got like all these color codes, right? Like, all right, it's light green because it's been wrapped. It's dark green because it's been put under the tree, stuff like that. So we start though our shopping, honestly, like my wife probably starts buying stuff in like August because there's so many of them for one, but for two, it's just if something really cool is on sale, all right, let's get that. And then that's, we have to start steering them towards it. But I mean, that's what we do. So we start buying stuff really early for the kids. It kind of bit us a little bit this year because their tastes changed super quick with our 4 and 7-year-olds. So we had to return some stuff that we bought.
But I don't like Legos anymore.
Yeah.
What? You don't like
That's
Legos?
all we got you. Take it back. Or like Pokemon with my son. He was super into it. And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm not really that into it anymore.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, return all that stuff. So it did kind of come back to bite us a little bit. But me personally, my style is I get paralyzed with fear, wait until the last minute, and then buy something expensive and that she hates. Because like I always get so nervous. Like I want to make something so fun and thoughtful and stuff. And then I'm like, she's just going to hate that. She's not going to like that. That's not good enough. And all of a sudden you're just like stuck and you don't do anything. And then, the day before Christmas, I'm running around and like buy her something because I'm like, oh, that's really cool. She needs another handbag. And, Yeah, and it doesn't go over well because she's like,
Walgreens is a great place for a last minute. I've been there.
Walgreens, you can go in, you can get a nice bottle of wine. You could get toilet paper.
Time out.
Oh,
Time out.
wine
No,
at
you're not
Walgreens?
buying gifts for your wives at Walgreens. Please don't. I'm speaking on behalf of all the wives. Please don't go buy gifts for your wives at Walgreens, please. Unless it's like a gift card to someplace else.
Jody has spoken.
Okay, so I'll take that advice, Jody. I will not go to Walgreens for gifts, but that's generally how all of my gift shopping goes. Is something like that. So, like I'm one of the ones that I always tell my wife, I just want to like. I'm an adult. I have a job. I can buy my own stuff, and I don't need other people wasting money to give me things. And she's on the opposite end of that, where like she meets a barista that she likes, and she gives her a gift card for Christmas type of thing. So, we're just completely different in terms of how we view gifts.
Hey, so that's a great point, John, because we experienced that in my house. My wife says something similar, and probably Katie gets a lot of joy out of giving the gift. And I'm the same way. And my wife does too. I know she does. She's the best gift giver ever. She's given me great gifts. I'm not such a great gift giver, but I want to give good. I want to give good gifts. I enjoy it. But I do get your point also that hey, I'm a grown person. I can buy whatever I want. I get that.
But then like something, I mean, my wife gave me one of my Christmas presents early this year, and it was like a whiskey scented candle. And she's like, see, that's not something you would just go out and buy yourself, but you like it. I'm like, all right, point taken. And then, you're right, Gene. She gets really excited when other people like find joy in the things she gives them. So.
And Jody and I we were talking about this, I think last week when we were talking about surprises, when we were talking about the surprise trips, that I enjoy the whole, like, I don't want any presents early. Like I don't want any presents on Christmas Eve. I want Christmas Day. I love the anticipation. It's just, it's exciting, both the giving and the getting. I enjoy the excitement and the surprise around it.
Yeah, and we're funny. We've never waited until Christmas or a birthday or anything. It's always like, you buy it on Tuesday. You're like, I'm going to wait 2 weeks till a birthday. And then by Wednesday, I'm like, oh, here, I got you this thing. I love it. So, it's just how
I get that. I get that too, though.
But,
Lonnie and I had a friend that had at some point had an engagement ring that he had for a long time and wasn't sure when I was like, man, I wouldn't have been able to wait a week after I bought it. I'd have been on a knee somewhere, at McDonald's something, I would have been able to wait.
Yeah.
Walgreens.
Right.
Walgreens, whatever. And then you could buy a nice bottle of champagne to celebrate. Yeah, right there in store.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but speaking of the perfect gift.
You can buy a bottle of champagne, not a nice bottle of champagne.
No. It might not be champagne. It might just be sparkling
top
wine.
shelf, Jody. Top shelf.
Just because it has a twist top doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
Right.
This is true.
And if it's made in Gary, Indiana. No offense to our Gary, Indiana listeners, but they're not known for their, champagnes, especially since it's not in Champagne. But that's neither here nor there. I guess thinking about shopping and gifts has led me to the topic for tonight, which is going to be Disney Springs. So we haven't really done much of an in-depth discussion on Disney Springs. So Lonnie, I think you wanted to tell our listeners a little bit more about Disney Springs and give us an overview.
Disney Springs is one of my favorite places. Usually it's my day one place when I go to Disney. There are currently 103 stores, pavilions, pop-ups, at Disney Springs. There are 66 table service, quick services, and lounges in Disney Springs, and there are 25 attractions, shows / events in Disney Springs. So it's a lot, right? It's something that you can spend a whole day, maybe several days at. A lot of people may be overwhelmed by it, right? Like, how can I, what do I have to do to kind of get my hands around this large shopping place, right? So Jody, any ideas on how you can somebody can kind of narrow it down?
Yeah. So in the My Disney Experience app, you can, the filter that you use the same way that you use for the parks, you can use for Disney Springs. You would just click on Disney Springs and you can sort through there between dining and entertainment and shops and restrooms even. So you can pull the map up and find the restrooms. I also found a filter where you can filter on age groups. So if you've got toddlers, you can search by that, or teens, or if you're just out with the adults, you can clear all the rest of those out and just click the adult button. But it really will help you navigate because, Bonnie, that's a lot of restaurants, attractions, shopping. I mean, that could wear you out if you don't really have a plan.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, now that we're all kind of on the same page in terms of what Disney Springs has to offer, let's talk about some of our favorites, and what some different options are that people can do. And the first one of those, I think, is shopping. A lot of people go to Disney Springs to shop. There's a lot of great stores. So what are some of the places you guys think are unique or fun that you like to go to at Disney Springs? Gene, what do you got, buddy?
So just a little bit of background. I know, it's often said, usually by me, that I don't have nearly as much Disney experience as you guys. However, with Disney Springs, I feel like I have quite a bit just because I've been in pharmaceutical and medical for 20 years, and every other year at least there's a meeting in Orlando. And while I might not go to the parks, you always end up at Disney Springs. And so, like, I just wrote down restaurants I've been to and and things that I've done and things that I like. And I mean, this is more than any other list for anything else we've ever done. I mean, I've eaten at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, at least 14 different restaurants there, of 66. What's that math, Kevin? A fifth of them.
2/3.
Not a fifth. It's not a fifth. I'm just saying.
Math is hard.
Yeah, math is. 4 out of 5 people have a hard time with math. You know it. But I mean, like, I really enjoy Disney Springs. The problem I have with it is that usually I'm doing a short trip and like a 5-day trip. That's not 5 complete days, and 4 days are at the parks. And so there's no, we go for cheer. Usually don't make it to Disney Springs. Go for, Run Disney, maybe a meal there, but it's kind of in and out, I really enjoy just hanging out at Disney Springs. And part of it is just, I like, you talked about shopping, had a conversation with a guy yesterday. I just enjoy the walking around and seeing people and seeing the things. And I might not leave with anything, but I enjoy all the shops. And what was the question again, John?
So,
Shopping.
Yeah, there we go.
Was it favorite shops? Is that?
Yeah. What are some of the places you like to go shopping, or stores that you think are cool and unique that our listeners would want to learn about?
I don't know exactly how unique they are, but I mean, I always gravitate towards, the Star Wars stores, the superhero headquarters. I love those, of course. And, the world of Disney, the great big store, it's got, Star Wars stuff as well as other Disney themed stuff. I love all that. I don't know how unique it is. I guess it's unique, to anywhere else that's not Disney World. But I also like, all the candy and the treat shops. I like this. I like cigars, and I don't smoke cigars, very often, if at all. I just enjoy walking by and smelling and, looking at it. It's just a cool place.
And Gene, that place, I'm the same way, because I don't smoke cigars super regularly, but I love them when I do. And every time I walk by that place, I make a comment to my wife, like, I could just go in there for an hour and you guys can keep shopping.
Yeah.
And, of course, telling her to take 4 kids, 5 kids into all these stores.
Probably always goes over well.
Yeah, it does. It does. It goes really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, I'm glad you mentioned the cigar shop, because that is a cool thing that's in that mall area that a lot of places just don't have. So there's a little cigar bar there. You can go in, buy a stick, and just sit with your friends or by yourself and relax a little bit. So yeah, that is a good place. Jody, what about you? What are some of your favorite shopping places?
Well, the obvious is World of Disney, right? My only key there is make sure that you have your phones readily available, because you're going to lose whoever is in your party. You're going to lose them within 0.2 seconds, and that place is so big, you're never going to find them again. So have your phone available in case you need to call a person that you've lost. But we always tend to stop off at the pin traders store, because my son is really into pin trading. So he likes to go over there and check out the various pins and maybe trade some pins there. I also like the co-op. I really haven't spent a lot of time there until our last trip, and it was pretty fun to go see all the various things in the co-op. And then Tim and I had a really good time. We've never been in there. Why we went in there, I don't know. But the Chappelle hats, we decided to go to the hat store. That was really fun. We had a great time, like trying on all these random hats. And of course, we both came out with a hat that I don't think we've worn once. Maybe I'll wear for New Year's Eve or something.
What kind of hat did you get, Jody?
It's cute. It's like a maroonish hat with like a black bow. It's pretty cute. So Tim got a gray hat. They're both fun, but something I would never here in Cincinnati go into a hat shop and be like, let me go try a bunch of random hats. But I don't know. It was kind of fun, something different. So
It's good.
Yeah.
All right. The hat store is interesting. I have to check that place out. I haven't been in there. Are they all just fancy hats, or do they have like baseball caps and stuff too?
I think they were all kind of fancy hats, like derby-ish type. I mean, not that fancy. Well, they had that fancy, but then they're more like, 1920s speakeasy type of hats is how I'd explain them.
Oh,
I haven't been in there in a while, but hats are. I see girls all the time wearing hats. Ladies and girls wearing hats, and so maybe maybe it's maybe they're just making a killing there right now. Could
be, yeah. Maybe that's where everyone goes.
Yeah. Who knew?
You remember back in the '90s when the Dallas Cowboys, whenever Michael Irvin and Deion Sanders would come out wearing the suits and the bowler hats. I think Lonnie and I should do a post race press conference with bowler hats on.
I agree.
I would love that. Actually,
that would be awesome.
That would be amazing. Oh, boy.
We'll limp up to the mic.
Oh man. All right, Kevin. Where are you going shopping?
Before that, one thing I'll add about Disney Springs is the transportation. I'll always I'm always fascinated with Disney and their transportation, the way they do. So their parking structures are pretty unique. At least now they're not as unique as they were, but they were really pushing the envelope whenever they kind of did their. They've got a detection system in their parking garages, so you don't have to drive and look for a parking spot. There are lights above each parking stall. Just kind of a little tip for those that decide to drive, go into the parking garage. You look for the green lights, and that indicates there's an empty spot. You can get there by boat. You can get there by bus. So there's a lot of different ways to get over there. The outdoor shopping experience. The weather's usually pretty nice, so you get to walk around, and that's always fun. But the shops always go in, just like Gene. I'm always beeline for the Star Wars store and Marvel store. I like the Fit to Run store. It's kind of neat to see all the different running equipment that they have there. I do like the Lego store. My kids love going in there. So we go in there, you play with the Legos, and you see all the cool, different creations and different, kind of rare sets that you may not be able to find everywhere else. And there's a hat. Nice. That's a cool hat.
I do. Yeah.
I like it.
You're going to have to put a picture of those on the Ducks Facebook page.
Awesome.
So our listeners can go and check out these awesome hats. Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, that's a terrible sweatshirt, but a great hat. Jody, I can't believe you would allow your children to dress like this. Borderline child abuse putting your kid in an Ohio State shirt.
Kevin, you were talking about the parking garage, and that by far is my favorite thing at Disney Springs. That little green dot that tells you the space is open. That should be universal everywhere. And they should also implement that for restrooms for ladies. They should have green lights when the restroom is empty because
there you go.
I'm like, it's brilliant. It's brilliant technology.
One other thing that I always go to is the Ghirardelli store. There's so many good chocolates in there, and they let you try a sample, and that's good stuff.
All right, and Lonnie, where are some of your favorite places to shop?
Well, between Jody, Kevin, and Gene, I think we're all on the same wavelength. Star Wars Galactic Outpost, Superhero Headquarters, World of Disney is the largest Disney store, right? So awesome to go to there. The Lego store, to Kevin's point, one thing you can do there is you can actually make your own Lego there as well. You go there, you sign up to make a Lego, and of course it's like a virtual queue. Once you get an opportunity to go in there, you can actually design your own Lego piece. They make it, create it, print it, and it's yours. One other thing I'll add, just to give something different. My wife is a big fan of Fabletics. They're one of the athletic stores there that sells some really good quality clothing there for workouts and things of that nature, athletic apparel. They also have a club that you can join there, and every month you can actually, sign up and get X amount of stuff sent to you, kind of like some of these style shopping things that they have going on nowadays. I don't know. As you can tell from the question, I'm not good at shopping, so that's my favorite. So I'll throw that in for my wife since she's not here, but we usually make a trip into there, and of course there's Coach and all that kind of places too. So if you're into Magic bands, they have the limited edition Coach bands there.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, I mean, just have some real good places there.
And I think Kevin, you mentioned it. The Fit to Run place is a really cool running store. It was actually, I was able to find a pair of Gooders that I couldn't find anywhere else for 4th of July one year there. We just happened to walk by it. And I'm like, I'm just going to run in there and check. And so now every time we're down, I stop and just kind of see what they have. Because that's a fun place. The World of Disney.
Hey, John, I want to mention this just real quick that I have a special memory with Fit to Run. As you all know, my arm was twisted to run my first Disney race, and Lonnie got into the challenge, and I wasn't able to get in the challenge. I was only able to get into one of the races. I don't remember which. I guess the 10K, and I was. As I said, I go for work, from time to time, and I was walking around. I went into the Fit to Run store, and as I do, I'm making friends, with people. And somebody in the store says, "Hey, you couldn't get both races. You couldn't get the challenge. Let me tell you about a running club you can join, and they've got a certain number of bibs. And within that running club, you can buy a bib from somebody. You can't just buy a bib from anybody, but within certain clubs, because the bibs are assigned to the club, you can." And so I was able to get a bib or bibs for the challenge for that dark side race, just because I happened to go in the Fit to Run store and strike up a conversation with somebody. So,
wow.
Special place in my heart, because now
That's cool.
that's what got me sucked into all this.
Well, and Gene, that's a good point too about just running stores in general, is like starting conversations with some of the workers and getting to know some of those folks, because a lot of those guys are super knowledgeable.
So nice too.
Yeah. And it's such a fun community, like the running community. So definitely, like go and talk to those guys, because they know what they're doing and they love talking about running. So World of Disney, a couple of you guys mentioned, I love that place too, but it's so much. it's overwhelming, and it's sectioned off pretty well. But Lonnie, right? Like you can't, if you lose somebody in there, there's no finding them. Because like if I'll walk over here and my wife, we probably pass each other 30 times in that store and don't even notice it. So, but it is awesome how big it is, and they have everything. But I think our favorite store in all of Disney Springs is Basin. We talked about it in another episode when we were talking about Grand Floridian, but my kids love that. It's like all soaps and bath bombs and lotions, things like that. It smells so good, and their products are like really high quality and just fun, like different smells and everything else. So that's probably our favorite place to go. If
Lonnie, write that down. Lonnie's a bath bomb guy.
Are you really? They're wonderful. Like when I'm giving our little girls baths, they like to use them, which, a lot of times you're like, that's a little expensive to use for a bath that you're probably going to yell at me to get out of in 4 minutes. But I mean, that's beside the point. But when they're in the bath with those, though, the whole bathroom and like our room and everything smells so good. It's amazing.
It's kind of a joke, because there's a State Farm commercial with Patty Mahomes, and he's throwing bath bombs in the bath bomb guy.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to sit in a nice warm bath with the scent of Mountain Springs or whatever it is.
Yeah. You can purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah. You can do that now in your own bathroom, Gene.
You can.
With
the appropriate bath bomb.
And Basin, please reach out to us for the sponsorship opportunities. We can be found at Disney with the Ducks on Facebook. All right. So those are some of my favorite places. I also like the Candy Cauldron because I'm a big guy and I like sugar. So that's another fun place, because they have all kind of like cool themed desserts and like candies and stuff like that, like the poison apple and things of that nature. So that's
the place with all the candy and caramel apples and everything, right?
Yeah, like
we tend to, when I'm there with my family, we'll my wife will get like tons of that. That's one of my favorite things. They're so good.
it's so like they have so many cool stuff, cool things in there. It's just a great place.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they give out free samples, or at least they used to, and that's what ropes us in, because they give you a little piece of a cut up, candy apple, and it's delicious. Of course, you're going to go buy 20 of them. Well, I mean, if you have a family my size, you kind of have to. But yeah. All right. So we talked a lot about the shopping. I know this group, all of us, I think, enjoy our food. So Jody, I want to hear about some of your favorite places to dine, because I know you and Tim really like to go out to good dinners.
We do. So we love Wine Bar George, mainly because it has a 4-letter word in the title, wine. So we really like it there. We've had lunch at the Boathouse with the kids once. We've really liked that. I've done homecoming, but Tim has not, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. Let's see what else. I've always wanted to try. I've heard really good things about Cooks of Dublin. I've heard their fish and chips. I know, Gene, you're a big fish and chips guy. I've heard their fish and chips are really, really good, but I've never tried it because.
Oh, good.
Bonnie, how many restaurants did you say are there?
66.
Yeah, that's just too many. So I haven't tried it yet.
Too many Jedi, too. There's like.
Yeah. And Poutine Place and Deluxe Burger. There's so many places I want to try. Earl of Sandwich. There's lots and lots of places. But I think another place that we also, of course, I became a big fan of Gideon's Cookies. How long have they been open now? 2-3 years? They're gigantic. You can split them in 4 and be perfectly fine with that. Waiting in line for them is a little crazy, but it's worth it if you like chocolate and if you like cookies, but you have to really like chocolate. So I think those are probably some of our favorites. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. I think I shared with you all that we did not have a great experience at Morimoto, unfortunately. That was, and when Landon was little, it was his like 6th birthday. We went to T-Rex, and as goofy as that is, in one of the Landry branches of restaurants, it was perfect for him at that age. He loved it. The dinosaurs and the noise and the action, and I mean, whatever. It's chicken fingers and fries for the kids, and I got a salad, and I'm sure Tim got something playing too. So it was perfectly fine. So the list of restaurants there is ridiculous, but there are lots that I want to keep trying, but from the ones that we've had. And then I have you all to thank for my introduction finally to your favorite place, but I won't talk about it. I'll let you all talk about it. So that would probably be Gene or Lonnie. It's one of your favorites.
Perfect. I'll take it. That's a perfect.
Yeah, you will.
Use it. Polite Pig. That's me, Gene's favorite, right? So thank you for that, Jody. It's a Michelin award-winning restaurant. There are many at Disney, but for a barbecue place to win that award says a lot. I'm like Jody. Art Smith's Homecoming. That's one of my favorites as well. Deluxe Burger. If you're in the mood for a burger and shakes, you can't pass it up. Chicken Guy. Another quick one. Bunch of sauces. Go give it a try. The Edison. Get the bacon on the hanging from the little string. Right. Can't go wrong with that. Bacon is the candy of meat.
Bacon.
And Wine Bar George. I'm gonna throw that in there as well. So just throw out a couple of quick ones that I think you can stop by in and won't have any problems at all. I did have Gideon's on there as well because, to Jody's point, why not? And I'm gonna throw one more thing in there, a bar, and this is a kind of a slash one, the Coca-Cola store, right? So I'm a kid of the '80s, so remember, guys, when we were growing up, well, some of you guys don't because you're younger than me and Gene. The rage was the Coca-Cola shirts that everybody used to get. Well, guess what? You go in the Coca-Cola store, you can get those shirts. Go way to the top. There's a bar, and there's a Coca-Cola flight. Some other things you can get up there. So that's kind of one of those cheating things, but you can go up there and get a float or something as well. So that's my picks.
Lonnie, one of the ones you mentioned, Chicken Guy, was on my list too. And I love it for a lot of reasons, but one of them is I just really love Guy Fieri. I like how much he does for like the service community and the restaurant owners and all that type of stuff. But also, his shows are just awesome. Like they highlighting some of the little diners and drive-ins and dives in the around the country or whatever. It's just cool to see all those little restaurants get kind of spotlighted. So I've always really liked him. So I got super excited when they opened Chicken Guy, and it is really good. But yeah, you're overwhelmed with sauces, and I'm a sauce guy. Like I have to have a lot of sauce.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But like you, John, I do love Guy and some of his restaurants when he goes around. It's funny you mentioned that. I went home for I don't remember, it's about a month and a half ago to New Orleans, and my mom was like, "Hey, I saw this restaurant on a Guy Fieri rerun. Can you bring me?" And I'm like, "Heck yeah, I can bring you." So I went over there, and the food was good, and literally had his autograph. He autographed a tray, and somebody drew his picture on it, and they were sitting there, and my mom was like, "I want what he had." And they still served it. So I do like Guy. He's pretty good.
Did I tell you guys that Tim hung out with him one time?
No.
Tim
was it awesome?
Yeah, he was super fun. But he had like a hairstylist with him. So.
Well, he has to. Look at that dude that guy's got.
I mean, look, Gene does my hair, so no shame.
Well done, Gene. And you wonder why I thought what I thought when we met you.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
you just played that perfectly for me, honey.
You know, I underhand picture to you. You're not gonna have to
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
You people.
All right.
You people.
Let's get Kevin's thoughts on the restaurants that you guys. All right. So Kevin, what are your thoughts on some of the dining options at Disney Springs?
So some of them have already been mentioned. Homecoming. I went there over the last marathon weekend. It was fantastic. I'm definitely going to go back there again. One that the kids love to go. T-Rex, you mentioned that. My boys love that place. The food is actually pretty good. I mean, it was surprisingly good. I didn't think it would be anything special, but I was pretty surprised by it. Then if you're doing something real quick, there's a place called Big Bad Wolf's. It's like a hot dog stand by one of the bridges. They're pretty good. They have like a sampler there. Raglan Road, I love that place. I love fish and chips. I love Irish food. And it's very, very good. They have Guinness on tap, which is always good.
That Lucky Charms?
Not Lucky Charms.
So Kevin, does Raglan Road, do they always have like live music, like Irish drinking tunes and stuff like that?
Every time I've been, they've had it. And then sometimes when I haven't had time to go in and sit, they have like the side place. I think you mentioned it, Jody. It's connected to the side. It's like a faster.
Yeah, the Cooks in Dublin. Yeah.
Yeah. That one's, I mean, it's really just the same. It's just, a smaller menu, but really, really good. Probably comes out of the same kitchen.
I think we need to do a fish and chips throwdown from the England and
I'm all about that.
See which
That's
fish
my
and
favorite.
chips was the winner.
Love it.
That needs to be a Disney with the Ducks throwdown. Which one's going to win?
That's a good
like
idea. You guys should do that on marathon weekend.
I don't know
Just
that
not
we've
during
done
the
it.
marathon.
You're going to have to figure it out.
We'll have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then Jeff actually went down a couple months ago, and sent me a Gideon cookie, and I was blown away. It was so good. I can't imagine getting them fresh right there. So definitely want to try that if the line's not insane.
And you got your
Everything
arm
is
workout lifting it up, right? Because they're so heavy.
You were not joking. That is a massive cookie.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of. It's not that it's like really big in diameter. It's just heavy. I mean, that's the heaviest cookie I've ever seen. I mean, it's crazy.
It's dense. That's for
They
sure.
pack a lot of density into that thing.
And I bet you burn all the calories that you consume by
just
doing the curls
you just do
to
your
get that up
arm
to your
curls
mouth.
every single time
Yeah.
you take the cookie. You're fine.
So it's a net zero caloric intake thing.
There you go.
So that's
I like
perfect.
that. I like
Pretty
that.
much.
Like lettuce.
Yeah, just like
There you
lettuce. Yeah.
You burn more calories eating it than
But with lettuce, you don't gain the muscle tone,
That's
so
true.
Gideon's is even better than lettuce. All right, so now that we're leading our listeners down the wrong path, Kevin, was there any other places you wanted to bring up from Disney Springs?
I think that pretty much covers it. There's a bunch of places I've always wanted to try, and I'm excited to try with you guys when I go down. So I really want to try Polite Pig. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, this whole discussion is just a lot of places that I've never been that I want to try, because we've done a lot of like quick service dining in Disney Springs, but we haven't done a whole lot of table service, just because with all the kids and everything, it's hard to be like, hey, let's go to a 2-hour meal at the mall. So we shy away from a lot of that, but we have been to Splitsville, and that place,
Yep.
honestly, it might be a case of my expectations being so low, but I was like, we're going to eat at a bowling alley, but it looks kind of cool. So we tried it, and the food was amazing. The environment was awesome. The service was great. Like everything about it was really good. So that's somewhere that I never would have thought to go that we really loved. And we kind of ended up there almost by accident. I think it was just the only thing available, and we wanted to sit for a while.
I've heard great things about Splitsville.
Yeah.
I really want to take the kids there. That looks like so much fun.
Yeah. And John, I'm gonna tell you, I had that. It's funny, I had that on the events because it's one of those places. Several places in Disney Springs does this where you can have like a meal or just do things. And you're right, the food, and they have literally the sushi there. I mean, they have. Really
That's what I got.
Things. Yeah, they have good Splitsville. Like I'm going to a bowling now, and Gene and I went. I think we had pizza and hot wings. I think when we went. But yeah, just it's great.
No, you're right. You wouldn't think sushi at a bowling alley, especially after me as someone who ruined my honeymoon with a sushi incident, eating sushi at the wrong place.
Is it a gas station?
No, at a resort in Mexico. Yeah.
Well, for that one.
You're with your new bride. You're having a good time. You're probably having a few drinks, and someone offers you sushi. You don't say no. I mean, you should.
I mean, they weren't in a sushi restaurant, but you can't say no to that,
No.
Right.
We were just.
Somebody was on the beach, just walked by and said, "Would you like sushi?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, why not?"
What are you gonna do?
Apparently, that was a bad decision. So I mean, I was gun shy from sushi for a solid 10 years after we got.
I wonder why.
Yeah. But now that I'm back into its good graces, no, that's what I got at Splitsville, and it was amazing. And then I forget what everybody else got, but we kind of tried some of each other's dishes, and everything was good. So that's one place that we love.
Definitely on my list for sure.
Yeah, and then another one is there's a bakery. It's like free of the top 8 allergens. It's called Aaron McKenna's, and it's they have the main ones in New York, but they also have San Francisco, and then they have one at Disney Springs. And it's all, so me and my daughter have celiac, so everything in there is gluten free. So we go in there and just go nuts on like our first day. We'll get cookies and bagels and little like coffee cakes and cupcake, whatever, and take it back to our resort and put it in the fridge and just keep it throughout the week. And even like she loves it to the point where marathon weekend last year in the morning, I went over to Disney Springs so I could get her some stuff from Aaron McKenna's and then head to the airport and fly home with it for her. So that's another one of our favorites. And then Deluxe Burger, I think somebody mentioned, or maybe a few of you guys mentioned, but yeah, Deluxe Burger is to me one of the best, the best options there because the food is so good. Like their burgers are great, but also our family eats a lot of like plant-based and stuff. So their, Impossible burgers are really good. They have a lot of chicken options for you. So it's just all around, everything I've ever had from there is delicious. So that's one that I think is kind of sneaky too, because it is popular, but you don't think of it as like a first option usually. So those are the places that I just absolutely love there. But God, all the places you guys mentioned, I really want to try. Plus, I want to try Morimoto because that looks like it would be really good too, and Boathouse, and so many good options there. That I haven't explored, so I'm going to try to do that more on my next trip. All right, let's go into kind of maybe the last main category of things that available at Disney Springs to guests. Entertainment options. So there's a lot of different things to do there, but let's go through some of our favorites. Lonnie, what's some of the things you like to do outside of the shopping and eating?
Well, a lot of great things to do there, right? One of the things is the AMC, right? The dine-in theater. So a lot of times if you're at a Run Disney event, you want to take get some rest off your feet, go catch a movie, right? Grab something to eat there. Also, the Edison has a lot of live entertainment. They do several parties, right? Some parties you get to dress up. Jody can put her hat on, go there. They're awesome. House of Blues, their Sunday brunch. Also, they have live music. And I put something else that I have on my list of to-dos, had great reviews about it, and that's Drawn to Life by Cirque du Soleil. So that's on my list to do next time I go with my wife on one of our trips, just us, the two of us. So she likes that kind of thing. I do as well. So a lot of great things you can do. And to Jody's point, if you go to the Disney Springs website, there's a calendar of events, and you look, and there's usually several things going on each day, right? It revolves around like Christmas or just live events and things of that nature. So there are so many things you can catch there. DJs all the time, right? So there's some dance parties there as well. Kevin loves a dance party. Catch one in Disney Springs, right? And it's usually right in that big center, right by the parking garage. So a lot of great things to do there.
Yeah. Kevin, what are some other things that you like to do, or anything?
He likes the dance parties.
I like the dance parties, of course.
Okay. What about the raves? Are you?
Not so much.
No, that's a little bit too far. Okay. I'm glad we found your line though. It's somewhere between dance party
somewhere
and rave.
between. Yeah, somewhere between line dancing and rave. Yeah. No, I like something that I just checked on it. They actually closed, but the Void was really a cool thing that I did. It was a virtual reality. It was a Star Wars thing, of course. I'm gonna like that, but I think that's closed permanently now. But just taking the kids to the Lego store and playing with the Legos, that's always fun. Walking around. I haven't done too much of the attractions, I guess, that they have there, but am definitely interested, especially with Splitsville. I really want to try that because the boys love to bowl now. So I think they're at the right age where they would get a kick out of that for sure. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Sweet. All right, Gene, what are some of the things you like to do for fun? I
I'll
think you
tell you.
spent the most time out of probably all of us.
Yeah, probably so. I mean, that's just usually the way it is. But I mean, the one thing I really want to highlight that I just, I've gotten a lot of enjoyment out of is the Disney Springs Christmas tree stroll. It's presented by Advent Health.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's from November through the 11th through December the 30th, and what you can do there is you can discover a collection of elaborately decorated Christmas trees throughout Disney Springs. You can actually go on a hunt for them. There are 20 Christmas trees that you can go on a quest for. And I mean, really, it's Christmas around every corner. And I mean, it's so great because there are themed Christmas trees for, Disney, Pixar, Star Wars, some superhero favorites. For instance, like Black Panther, Coco. There's a Disney Plus themed tree, Encanto, Frozen, Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, I would say the list is endless, but it's not endless. It's only 20. But some great Christmas trees, and it's one of those things that you can stroll around, have fun with your family. You go on this quest, this festive quest. That you can pick up a map from CityWorks Eatery and Poorhouse or Crystal Arts, Planet Hollywood, the Boathouse, Uniqlo. Is that how you say that place, Uniqlo? Because I really dig that store because the clothes are like so weird and so different. And,
I think they're too cool for me, and that's why I don't even know how to say it.
I go in there and look. We go in there and look. It's one of those places I like to look. But that Christmas tree stroll. I can't talk. I'm sorry. Just something I wanted to make sure and highlight because it's just. I think it's an opportunity you can't pass up when you're there for Christmas time.
Yeah, I mean, you can't talk, but you can read really well.
So say, Gene, you probably should apply for a job with like Disney PR and advertising, something like that.
Well, y'all took all the things I've actually done. So what am I saying? Movies in Splitsville. I mean, I don't usually go watch music. I love to watch music, but usually with my family, we don't do late night stuff.
Okay.
But there are really some great things to do. I really do enjoy taking in a movie, and it doesn't matter what the food's like. There's food at the movie theater. That's a winner. However you look at it. Like I said, it's Splitsville too.
All right. And that does sound fun to watch a movie though, and have dinner all together. A little bit more efficient than eating, then going to the movie.
I will tell you, I don't know if I'll ever do the Christmas tree stroll. Maybe. I don't know if I'll ever be there during that time. But I've never done the balloon flight. I've always wanted to do it, but I've never done it.
Aerophile?
Yeah. I've also wanted to do
I would do that.
Yeah. I've also wanted to do Cirque du Soleil. I've been to a couple of Cirque du Soleil things, shows, whatever. And those are always just so cool. So it's something I think about every time I go, but we never do it.
Yeah. And So Jody, what do you guys do at Disney Springs? Because I think you said you'd like to visit there for some of the food and other
Yeah,
stuff.
we
right?
like to eat and drink and shop, but I haven't done a lot of the other experiences. I haven't done the aerophile. I haven't done the what are the cars at the is that
The
boat-
like aqua.
aqua cars.
Yeah.
the cars that leave the boathouse and drive
Mhm.
around and come back in. We haven't done those. I haven't done bowling at Splitsville, but one of my favorite things to do at Disney Springs is watch when people are walking by World of Disney and they get spit on by Stitch
Oh yeah, that's fun.
because they don't know and then they think something's wrong with the sky. So I do like to people watch. That's one of the things that I enjoy doing is people watching, just because it's fun to see what everybody's up to and. That I find that enjoyable. So the other thing that no one's talked about that I think is a hidden gem at Disney Springs, there is a PhotoPass photographer's setup that has props and different backdrops and things. So you can go there and use your, if you have a PhotoPass photography part of your package, you can get pictures taken at Disney Springs. So, so for those of us who have annual passes and have that on our annual pass, that's something included. So I've not done them yet there, but I've seen a lot of pictures people who have, and they've turned out pretty cool. So if you're there, maybe if you have a kid and you went to Boppity Boutique, which I think is at the Springs too, and you can go right next door and get your pictures taken. So that would be rather convenient.
Yeah, that's a great tip, Jody, about the photo pass place there, especially because if you're getting the Bippity Boppy Boutique done, you might as well go over and they do have some pretty cool things set up there for you.
And as far as I know, there are no characters anywhere in Disney Springs, right? Is that correct?
I haven't seen any.
Yeah, I haven't seen any either.
No characters. I think they do have. Well, she's not a character. They have the floating piano lady, the moving piano that kind of goes throughout Disney Springs, and she's playing and singing. She's a character.
Yeah, I've not seen that.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, with us at Disney Springs, I think one of the things I really like is, speaking of, Gene, you mentioned Advent Health, who sponsors the Christmas tree stroll. Advent Health also has a waterside stage right outside of World of Disney. So there's kind of a big amphitheater almost type thing there. And it's nice because they have like high school jazz bands come in, or marching bands, or orchestras, whatever, come in, and like choirs once in a while in that area. Sometimes they just have like a cool like Latin jazz band, just all kind of different types of music that they have live there. And that's something that I really enjoy seeing. So, if my wife and kids want to go shopping in World of Disney and I'm just overwhelmed with my anxiety about that store, I'll stand outside and watch music for 20 minutes, half hour, or whatever. And it's so fun. Yeah. And like the people watching thing you mentioned, Jody, there is so many amazing people at Disney Springs to watch and just see how they interact and how families interact. And, it's funny. And I like to see little kids melting down and like their parents just, not knowing what to do because they're in the middle of 1,000 people. Cause I've been there. So it's fun to watch that and kind of just laugh a little. But yeah, the other thing, oh, go ahead, Lonnie.
No, so there are two kind of people in this world. Those that know Stitch is going to spit on them, and those that don't and just walking by and just catch it. I mean, to your point, classic, Jody.
Yeah.
Classic.
It is pretty awesome. But yeah, I mean, the other thing too about Disney Springs is House of Blues has live music. And I think that's something a lot of people, don't think about doing, but that, it could fit in the restaurant category too, but that's an awesome place.
It really is.
Kind of right over on the end by the Cirque du Soleil show. So yeah, if you're going to a show there, you can go over after, catch whatever band's playing, have a couple beverages or some appetizers or something. It looks like such a fun place to hang out. We've just never done it yet because of, the kids are just too little to take out late and in a real loud bar like that. But yeah, it looks awesome. Have you been to it, Kevin? Or
I have, and it was really fun. The different bands and stuff, that it reminds me of being around Nashville, where you have a lot of restaurants and stuff with live music there, and it's a lot of up and comers and stuff that sometimes they do cover music and sometimes they have their own, and just really seeing people that are really playing it because they love it. It's really a lot of fun, and it's a big mix of different types of genres and stuff. So it's you never really know. And they post. I think they post a a schedule pretty far out where you can kind of pick and choose. But
yeah, no, it always looks awesome, and everybody when we walk by looks like they're having a great time. So that's one thing. And then we want to see Cirque du Soleil too. It just seems very pricey for bringing kids and everything else. So we got to find a night when I can let my older daughter babysit for a little while, and me and my wife can just go, because I think that looks like such a fun experience. All right, so we've gone through the shopping, the eating, and the entertainment. Is there anything else that you guys want to bring up about Disney Springs, or tips or tricks or things you think need improved? All right, Jody.
One thing we did not discuss that I think is super helpful is that there's a Disney ticketing center at Disney Springs. So it's a great place to go if you need to change a ticket or alter a ticket, or if you want to, well, back when they used to have annual passes, if you wanted to upgrade to an annual pass or anything with ticketing. And the line there is typically a fraction of what it is in front of the parks. So if you're trying to get into Hollywood Studios and you've got an issue with a ticket, you're going to spend 2 hours in line. But if you're over at Disney Springs, you may spend 10 minutes in line. So if you've got a ticketing issue, that's a great place to go. The other thing that I want to make sure that everyone is aware of, you cannot go directly from Disney Springs to any of the parks. Disney Springs, the Walt Disney World transportation will take you from Disney Springs back to the resorts, but not to any of the 4 parks. So that's a lot of people think like, well, I'll just go over there and then we'll go straight to wherever your next stop is. It's not possible. So you have to either go to the closest resort and either walk, or go from that resort and use their transportation. But that's just a trick. I know people have been caught with that before, and I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of that, that you can definitely go from your resort to and from Disney Springs, but not from Disney Springs to any of the parks.
That's a really good point, Jody, because I think I know that was something that we found out when we were there, and it was one of those surprise things like, oh, shoot, we really should have known this before that. But speaking of transportation, that brought up something else too, is there's a resort that's walking distance to Disney Springs. So if you really enjoy the nightlife and that type of thing at Disney Springs, Saratoga Springs might be a good place for you to consider, because you can walk from right there over to Disney Springs. So that's a pretty cool option for folks that are, like that, like spending a lot of time, I guess, at Disney Springs.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully our listeners got a lot of good ideas. And if there's things you think we missed or things you wanted to bring up about Disney Springs, start some discussions over at our Disney with the Ducks Facebook page. You can also find us on Twitter at Disney with the DU1 and on Instagram at Disney with the Ducks. We're also on TikTok as Disney with the Ducks. So find us in any of those places. But before you do that, we would like to make you giggle a little bit tonight. So it's time for everyone's favorite, Quacking Up with the Ducks. So let's see. Kevin, let's start with you.
Okay. Did you guys know that the first French fries were not cooked in France?
No.
They were cooked in Greece.
Oh, that was funny.
I liked it. All right. Gene, what about you?
I never can come up with a joke, but with this whole deal with the marathon, I want you guys to know, I never know if it's the real deal or if it's just a run through.
Jody, are you able to make us quack up?
Well, you guys, not to brag, but we were talking about Christmas earlier. I'm really, really good. I've got a special Christmas talent, and I am super good at predicting what's inside of a wrapped present. You want to know what it is?
Yeah.
It's a gift.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Lonnie, can you give us the gift of laughter?
Probably not, but I'll give you this. It's a riddle. What do you call a dad who doesn't have kids but tells dad jokes?
I don't know.
A faux pas.
Oh, boy.
Well,
why
I guess I should say, what do you call a man? Because I said, what do you call a man who doesn't have kids that tells dad jokes? A faux pas. There you go. Now I got
That's
it.
There
better.
you go.
I'm glad you fixed the logical issues with that joke.
Me too. Me too.
Okay. All right. Why couldn't the pirate play cards?
I don't know why.
Because he was sitting on the deck.
Ah,
Yeah, it makes it difficult when
Yeah.
you got the
Yeah.
deck
sure.
cards under your bum.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
All right. Well, for those of you who made it this far, thank you very much for the support and for listening to us. Please do us a favor and go over and give us a 5-star review on your podcatcher of choice, and write some amazing things about how awesome our show is, and share it with your friends. Maybe, I don't know, maybe even just drop random cards with our website on it, or our website. What is this? 2005 with our with our Facebook group on it. Yeah. DisneyWithTheDucks.com. But yeah, pass that out to your friends. All right, with that, everybody have a good night and Kwaherini.
Bye, everybody.
Everybody.
See you guys.
do that magic hand thing, baby.
What?
Got it wrong. I got it wrong. I got it wrong. I said it wrong. I wasn't looking at it. That's from the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It's come on, baby, do the magic hand thing. I said it wrong.